I'm honestly glad that Geeta and Clavell still decided to trust Liko and the others. I went into this episode believing they would, because surely they know Liko and friends well enough by now to know who they are, what they stand for, and what they are trying to do. But at the same time, I was also prepared for the possibility that they would close the door in their faces, because publicly siding with people currently seen as villains would obviously not be a good look for the Academy. In the end, that did factor into the equation, but only by limiting how much Geeta and Clavell can do, not by stopping them from helping altogether. They can't necessarily go to war publicly on behalf of the Rising Bolt Tacklers, but they can use the authority they do have and ban strong spheres at Naranja Academy. It's a smart compromise, and it ties directly into the heart of the episode: Dash. I went into this episode thinking that her reason for using strong spheres would be selfish in a much more negative way. I figured she simply wanted power, that she just wanted to be stronger no matter what, which isn't inherently selfish, especially in the Pokemon world where almost every trainer is striving to improve. But it turns out that her desire for power isn't rooted in ego or vanity. It comes from something much more relatable and heartfelt. She feels left behind by her friends. She, Niko, and Rob started together, but now she feels they've moved ahead while she's stuck in place. They've improved, grown, and she feels like she can no longer stand beside or compare to them. And instead of believing she can reach their level through training, effort, and experience, she takes the easy way out because she lacks confidence in her ability to get there naturally. And or she's just that desperate to catch up. Honestly, this is very relatable. Whether it's a school, college, work, friendship, family, or just life in general, most of us have felt the sting of seeing someone close to us seemingly move ahead while we feel stuck or left behind. You start comparing yourself, wondering why they are improving faster, why they seem to have things figured out, why they are standing where you feel you should be as well. So I understand her struggle. Her desire to catch up is human, understandable, and sympathetic. The problem is that while the feeling itself is valid, addressing it by using a strong sphere as a shortcut is wrong. This is why her battle with Liko works really well. I expected this conflict to be more directly tied to the damaged reputation of the Rising Bolt Tacklers. That Dash would believe they are the bad guys and battle them because of that. But instead, it's more personal. Dash finally gets a strong sphere. She's excited to use it, and then she sees they are banned at the academy because of Liko and friends. So Dash basically goes, "How dare you take this away from me? The one thing that can allow me to catch up." Now, the resulting battle is nothing amazing from an animation standpoint, but it still serves its purpose wonderfully. There are plenty of the usual issues: still frames, speed lines standing in for movement, some awkward or cartoonish motion, and nothing that reaches the level of a truly exciting battle. This is all fine, however, since this battle is not meant to be a spectacle or thrilling. It's meant to serve the story. Before Dash even uses the Strong Sphere, she actually does pretty well. Swanna pushes Meowscarada more than expected. Liko is caught off guard a couple of times and is forced to actually think and adapt. Sure, Liko still dominates, but it's not a complete cakewalk. Even Niko and Rob are impressed. Dash shows genuine potential. She only uses the Strong Sphere once she's cornered, almost like a battle gimmick, such as Terrasto, something you activate when you need to turn the tide. The battle proves that she didn't need it to compete. She was more capable than she gave herself credit for. She just didn't believe that. The Strong Sphere basically ends up feeling completely unnecessary. Even after Dash uses it, it seems that the most powerful thing pushing Swanna forward is still its bond with Dash. Yes, the Strong Sphere clearly makes it reckless and forces it past its limits, to the point that it needs to be forcefully restrained. But Swanna is also fighting so desperately because it wants to do its best for its trainer. The very bond Dash risks damaging by using the Strong Sphere is what gives her and Swanna the real strength in the first place. Now, one thing I do love from the battle itself is what they did with Feather Dance. The feathers actually stick to Meowscarada and physically restrict her movement, making it difficult for her to attack properly. It's a simple thing, but it grounds the move in a more tangible way. Instead of just having feathers appear and the opponent's attack magically goes down because that's what the move does, we actually get a visual reason for why Meowscarada is hindered. It's one of the more creative touches in the battle, and I always appreciate when the anime finds ways to make game mechanics feel more realistic and believable. In the end, I'm glad Dash realizes her mistake. She sees what the Strong Sphere does to Swanna. She realizes how much Swanna truly means to her, and she finally understands that her friends never saw her as someone who was left behind. She was the one carrying that fear in silence, and because she didn't talk to Niko and Rob about it sooner, that insecurity kept growing until it pushed her towards the wrong choice. But once everything is revealed, they are able to reconnect, apologize, and decide to keep moving forward together. In the bigger picture, this might seem like a smaller episode, but it actually captures the soul of the entire Strong Sphere arc. The bond between Pokemon and the trainer and the people honestly communicating with each other will always matter more than artificial power that severs those connections. That's what Liko wanted Dash to understand, and the battle gives her a way to prove it in front of the students. It doesn't just help Dash, it also strengthens the cause Liko and friends are fighting for by showing everyone firsthand why Strong Spheres are dangerous. I also really love how Horizons continues to bring back minor characters and make them matter. Niko, Rob, and Dash first appeared all the way back in episode 53, and they had all the makings of simple characters of the day. They could have shown up just once as doppelgangers of the main cast for a few laughs and then disappeared forever. That would have been the standard approach. But Horizons doesn't really do that. It keeps finding ways to make even minor characters feel important and like part of the world. Niko and friends went on to appear multiple times during the Terrasto debut arc, taking part in the Terra training tests and even battling Anne and Dot. Then Dash came back in episode 95 when Strong Spheres were introduced. which surprised me because suddenly a seemingly minor character from dozens of episodes earlier was being used to make the Strong Sphere conflict more personal. And now this episode proves that even that wasn't just a random callback, it was set up. Even Dash failing the Terra training mattered. It's what really cemented for her that her friends moved ahead without her. The insecurity born from this ended up mattering. What once looked like small details became fuel for this episode's emotional conflict. This is one of the things Horizons does very well. No character, no interaction, no storyline feels too small to return later and gain more meaning. It makes the world feel alive and it adds value to the journey itself. Even episodes or characters that might initially seem minor or feel like filler can become important later, which rewards us for paying attention and sticking with the story from start to finish. Compared to the previous anime, where so many characters of the day appeared once and were never seen again, this is one of the areas where Horizons has consistently done better. Also, I love that Niko is such a doppelganger of Liko that post a time skip, she also has a ponytail. I also really like that Iono returns, even if it's only for a brief scene. It's always great to see her, but I especially like how they use her here. Exceed reaching out to her to promote Strong Spheres is a clever way to bring her into the ongoing conflict because it makes perfect sense for her character. She's a streamer, she has influence, and companies reaching out to creators to promote products is a very real thing. It's also fitting because sometimes those offers are not exactly great for the audience, as is the case here. Exceed wants her to promote a shady product, but thankfully, because she knows what's really going on, she doesn't fall for it. It's a small scene, but it's a smart use of who Iono is. Finally, I really like the ending of the episode because it answers a question I've had for a while. How exactly are Liko and the others going to gather all 18 Terra types? Are they going to need to find the Pokemon on the level of the 6 heroes? Legendary, ancient, giant, etc. Pokemon strong enough to stand beside them? Or can they use their own Pokemon? I love that the answer is basically that what they needed was beside them all along. Their Pokemon are strong enough and they can keep getting stronger together. It's a nice reminder of how far they've come. They are now capable of standing alongside the heroes. And this extends to Nemona and Penny too. It's not just the Pokemon they already have with them, but also the people they've met along the way. The allies they've made, the bonds they've formed, the trainers who have witnessed their growth and even contributed to it now want to stand with them. Again, Horizons keeps adding value to the journey. Every connection and ally matters. In their biggest time of need, the people and Pokemon they've met along the way are the ones who have their backs. It's a powerful scene because it answers a practical question while also reinforcing the emotional core of the series. So overall, this is a pretty good episode. It's not the flashiest, and the battle itself isn't one of the strongest visually, but the episode works because it has a clear emotional purpose. Dash's insecurity is relatable, her mistake makes sense, her reconciliation with her friends feels heartfelt, and the episode does a great job tying her personal struggle into the larger themes of the arc. It also continues to show one of the greatest strengths of Horizons. Making the journey matter, making small characters matter, and finding ways to turn past moments into meaningful payoff later. So even if this isn't one of the biggest episodes on the surface, it's still an important and very effective one. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, feel free to click the links on screen. And if you'd like to support the channel and help me keep making content like this, you can find all the ways to do so in the description and in the pinned comment. Whether it's through a small donation or just watching and sharing, every bit of support means the world to me. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.